So Elon Musk, the supposed richest dude in the world, really wants a bailout, and he's restructuring his companies to get one. Look at this. Elon Musk says SpaceX has acquired XAI. And we were just talking about this yesterday. Like, it was a rumor that SpaceX was like, okay, can we merge with Tesla? Can we merge with XAI? And I said, hey, they're just floating it out there. I guess no one really wants Tesla. Is that what we're doing now? We're just going to go with XAI. This is really what's happening. Like it's so fast. And if you remember, XAI, this is back in March of last year. Musk XAI buys his social media platform X. Okay, so we're merging companies. He's wearing the Trump was right about everything hat. And if you check on XAI, Musk XAI had burned $8 billion in cash in the first 9 months of 2025, and you'll keep getting more and more stories about that. Basically, they're just trying to compete in the AI world where you got to build out your data centers or whatever. This stuff may or may not ever work the way that they say it will. And then in order to make more money, you then turn off the guardrails, and then people are making CSAM kind of content, right? Inside Musk bet to hook users that turn Grok into a adult content generator, you guys know. And effectively non-consensual stuff also involves children. I mean, I guess if you think you're going to make money that way, but maybe it's not enough. So then you're like, okay, I'm going to merge my companies, right? And then get government contracts then to support his chatbot that puts out that type of content. This world is whacked out. Musk SpaceX combines with XAI at a 1.25 trillion valuation. Now you have to understand and put it all in context. Elon Musk just yesterday was at Mar-a-Lago. They were attending a wedding, right? Basically get your grift on, hang out with a bunch of, whatever to say it. We'll just say this. People that don't care about you, a bunch of billionaires who partied up and may or may not be making a new list, which I call the new Epstein list, is going to be the Mar-a-Lago list. That's Musk there. And you have to understand, right? He's donating to a bunch of Republicans. It's all about bailout money, getting those government contracts. Elon Musk pours millions more into helping Republicans keep Congress. Isn't this obviously like a massive scam and bailout thing? SpaceX seeks FCC nod for solar-powered satellite data centers for AI. That's our plan. Data centers in space. Okay. What does Farzad, right, one of the king pumpers, have to say? Massive congrats to SpaceX and XAI teams. Now merge with Tesla so we can all celebrate together. And in fact, I promise you, a lot of those Tesla people are probably upset because they wanted the SpaceX to grift with Tesla, but no, looks like Tesla's off to do its own thing.
Okay, everybody, absolutely gigantic news. SpaceX has acquired XAI as of today, February 2nd, 2026. This is massive. I want to walk you through the statement. It has a ton of implications. If you've been following the Musk story closely, this you probably thought was coming, probably not as fast as it did, but this has massive implications. So let me go ahead.
So basically what he does is he has to use the same word over and over again, right? It's massive, it's gigantic, it's massive, it's huge, it's tremendous, right? It sounds like who you know, the big orange dude. And here's another Trump pumper. People didn't need any more reasons to get excited about the SpaceX IPO. And now you're effectively investing in two of Elon Musk companies, XAI and SpaceX. Who's ready? This is Fred, so he's not a pumper, he's the opposite. It's pretty funny that SpaceX owns Twitter now. The real loser is Tesla shareholders now. Either Musk will now focus his grift on SpaceX stock or try to merge them, which is going to be insane dilution for Tesla. You also got Ross Gerver, one of the hedge fund type dudes. He says, X was out of money, referring to Twitter. Merge with XAI. XAI out of money, merge with SpaceX. SpaceX out of money, merge with, well, Tesla. When they are all out of money. I mean, that's what it ends up being, right? Okay, we'll do another merge, do another, IPO or whatever, and keep trying to figure out new ways to restructure the stuff to shuffle the money around. This is Elon Musk then tweeting out his fan club. It's called Tesla Owners of Silicon Valley. It's just a Tesla fan club. And they're talking about Mars. Mars looks amazing. Can't wait to go. Thanks to Starship. Okay. And then Elon Musk is saying, traveling to the stars is inspiring. Listen to what Elon has to say.
I guess my essential, what I would call the philosophy of curiosity. I'd like to understand the meaning of life. Is the standard model of physics correct regarding the beginning of life, the beginning of existence, and the end of the universe? What questions do we not know to ask that we should have? I'm just trying to understand how do we get here? What's going on? What's real? Are there aliens? Maybe there are. And if we've got spaceships that are traveling to other star systems, we may encounter aliens, or we may find many long dead alien civilizations. But I just want to know what's going on. I'm curious about the universe, and that's my philosophy.
That's my philosophy. I'm just really curious about what's going on. Let's go find those aliens, Elon. Let's do that. This is the supposed richest, supposed smartest dude in the world. SpaceX has acquired XAI, forming one of the most ambitious vertically integrated innovation engines on and off Earth. That's coming from SpaceX. XAI, remember, this is the Grok, sound bot. One team, emoji rocket ship, great. And then you got the actual statement here, February 2nd, 2026. XAI joins SpaceX to accelerate humanity's future. Oh, wow. I didn't realize it was humanity's future. I didn't know I needed to undress people with your AI chatbot for humanity's future. Wow. SpaceX has acquired XAI to form the most ambitious, vertically integrated innovation engine on Earth and off Earth with AI, rockets, and space-based internet. Okay. Direct-to-mobile device communications and the world's foremost real-time information and free speech platform. So I guess that from Elon's point of view, he wants you all to be on Twitter 24/7. He's going to beam this over your head, and I'm sure he'll figure out a way to get Trumpers to go along with that. This marks not just the next chapter, but the next book. Okay, writing books now. In the SpaceX XAI's mission, what is our mission? Scaling to make a sentient sun to understand the universe and extend the light of consciousness to the stars. That's the and I'm not against science and travels like that. It's just the way they write this stuff. It's always this like really grandiose sci-fi stuff, right? Current and because when you look at what they're really doing with AI, it's just to make this undressing of people stuff, right? That's basically what it ends up being. And they're burning through cash, or to if you want to take the more light note, just to spread a bunch of cat memes and stuff like that, like as if that creates humanity better. Current advances in XAI are dependent on large terrestrial data centers. Okay, right, we're talking about data centers on Earth, but we're talking about something else now, which require immense amounts of power and cooling. Global electricity demand for AI simply cannot be met with terrestrial solutions. Okay, so Earth's not enough. What do you got for me? Even in the near term, without imposing hardship on communities and the environment. So we really need these data centers, guys. We really need them, but I guess we can't do it on Earth. In the long term, space-based AI, right? So literally Skynet, space-based AI, that's Elon's plan. Space-based AI is obviously the only way to scale. This is their words. To harness even a millionth of our sun's energy require over 1 million times more energy than our civilization currently uses. Okay, so now I guess we need to get all the energy from the sun to power this Skynet. Is that our plan? This space-based AI. The only logical solution, therefore, is to transport these resource-intensive efforts to a location with vast power in space. I mean, space is called space for a reason. Laughing emoji. Who writes this crap? By directly harnessing near constant solar power with their little operating or maintenance costs, according to them. I kind of doubt that, but according to them, these satellites, so again, we're putting satellites to space data centers, that's what we're talking about. These satellites will transform our ability to scale compute. It's always sunny in space. Launching a constellation of 1 million satellites that operate as orbital data centers is the first step towards becoming a Kardashev 2 level civilization. Okay. I'm just waiting for the holodecks and warp drives now. I know they're coming. Elon. One that can harness the sun's full power while supporting AI-driven applications for billions of people today and ensuring humanity's multi-planetary future. And then, the funny thing is, I already know how fragile it is. You're like, oh my God, this is massive. This is huge. Elon Musk just said we're going to have like this big space data center in space. I say space again. I said space twice, 3 times. It's massive. It's huge. And we're all going to be rich. We're all going to lay on our couches while the robots in space do all the work. Oh my God, I've been fantasizing in my bed about Skynet all my life. I really want Skynet. Isn't this stuff just completely whacked out? And then he goes on about how I guess we need these data centers in space. It's like a lot of crap here. 2 to 3 years, they say. My estimate is that within 2 to 3 years, the lowest cost way to generate AI will be in space. You know what? Let's go through the rest. In the history of spaceflight, there has never been a vehicle capable of launching the megatons of mass that the space-based data centers or permanent bases on the moon and cities on Mars require. Okay, so now we got the data centers in space, we got moon bases and cities on Mars. Okay. Even in 2025, the most prolific year in history in terms of number of orbital launches, only about 3,000 tons of payload was launched into orbit, primarily consisting of Starlink satellites carried by the Falcon rocket. And then part of the thing that Musk was talking about before in the other video, and I'll show you guys in the channel, they want to launch a rocket every hour for a year. like all the time, as if they're going to even do that. The requirement to launch thousands, I thought it was millions, thousands of satellites to orbit became a forcing function of the Falcon program, driving recursive improvements to reach the unprecedented flight rates necessary to make space-based internet a reality. This year, Starship will begin developing the much more powerful V3 Starlink satellites to orbit, with each launch adding more than 20 times the capacity to the constellation as the current Falcon launches of the V2 Starlink satellites. Starship will also launch the next generation direct-to-mobile satellites, will require full cellular coverage everywhere on Earth. I'm kind of curious why they don't talk about making their own phones. I think that's been a rumor for a while. If you actually wanted to, make an actual real product, start selling phones. I mean, it's competitive, and you have to compete with existing manufacturers or whatever. But if you're going to go with the grift, go with something more realistic. I would say cell phones. If you're going to do something more realistic. But Trump tried that. Maybe he got lessons from Trump. Don't do it. Seriously, Trump had a gold phone, if you don't know. While the need to launch these satellites will act as a similar force function to drive Starship improvements and launch rates, the sheer number of satellites that will be needed for space-based data centers will push the Starship to even greater heights, right? With launches every hour. I told you guys, every hour is what they're saying here. With launches every hour carrying 200 tons per flight, Starship will deliver millions of tons to orbit and beyond per year, they say, enabling an exciting future where humanity is out exploring amongst the stars. The basic math, okay? The basic math is that launching 1 million tons per year of satellites generating 100 kilowatts of compute power per ton would add 100 gigawatts of AI compute capacity annually, with no ongoing operational or maintenance needs. Ultimately, there is a path to launching 1 terawatt a year from Earth. My estimate is within 2 to 3 years, this is coming from Elon, the lowest cost way to generate AI compute will be in space, right? So this is basically a big grift to pump up, SpaceX IPO. It's all nonsense. This cost efficient, he claims, this cost efficiency alone will enable innovative companies to forge ahead in training their AI models and processing data at unprecedented speeds and scales, accelerating breakthrough in our understanding of physics and invention of technologies to benefit humanity. The problem with this stuff is the way that, I'm reading, just going, my first reaction to this stuff is like, you're trying to compete with NVIDIA here, I think. And maybe he looked at what NVIDIA stock did the last, couple of years, like, hey, we got to jump on that hype train before it ends. I mean, how's that? It's anything that Elon says, you have to remember that they're not the only company out there. Plus, this idea is just stupid to begin with and horribly expensive. The cost prohibitive of launching 1 million satellites in space for this data center thing. I mean, it's an enormous grift to get government contracts and basically build these things that will never work. and then money will, vanish effectively. This constellation will build upon well-established space sustainability design, according to him, and operational strategies. Look at all this junk in space is my other reaction, including end-of-life disposal, right? Like what happens to these things when they're done, that have proven successful for SpaceX's existing broadband satellite systems. And I've seen a lot of reports on this that it's not safe, stuff falling from the sky, basically. Well, launching AI satellites from Earth is the immediate focus, okay? Starship's capabilities will also enable operations on other worlds. That's according to Musk, other worlds. Thanks to advancements like in-space propellant transfer, Starship will be capable of landing massive amounts of cargo on the moon. He hasn't even done that yet, so that's all nonsense at this point. Once there, it'll be possible to establish a permanent presence for scientific and manufacturing pursuits. Where's your moon base, Elon? Factories on the moon now we're talking about. To take advantage of the lunar resources to manufacture satellites. Oh, okay. So we're gonna build factories on the moon to build satellites on the moon and then just deploy them from there. Okay. Show me your moon base. By using the electromagnetic mass driver lunar manufacturing. This is new. I haven't heard him talk about this stuff before. Okay, electromagnetic mass driver and lunar manufacturing. It is possible to put 500 to 1,000 terawatts a year of AI satellites into deep space. Okay, now we're sending our AI satellites into space that we're doing. Meaningfully ascend the Kardashev scale and harness a non-trivial percentage of the sun's power. The capabilities we unlock by making space-based data centers a reality will enable self-growing bases on the moon, an entire civilization on Mars, and ultimately expansion of the universe. Thank you for everything you have done and will do for the light cone of consciousness. The light cone of consciousness. Ad Astra Elon. So I already know how the Elon fanboys and fangirls will say, "Oh, Chris, you're so dumb. You just hate science. You just hate Elon, whatever." Guys, I actually like science, but what I dislike is these grifter people, and it should be obvious. But the thing is, to his followers, I get it. If you don't use big words all the time, they don't understand anything that you say. So I'll just put it in the most simplest terms. Guys, this is not going to be massive. This is not going to be huge. This is not going to be big. This is not going to be gigantic, right? Use the most simple words they're going to use, and essentially it's a bunch of broken promises like everything else that Elon does. So that's my thoughts on this. I'd like to hear yours, and I'll catch you on the next video.